So I just finished The Last of Us season finale. And I don't know how I feel about it. I liked some of the changes a lot. For example, at first I wasn't quite sure how I felt about Jesse's character change, because in the game he's like really supportive, right? And his big line is my friends' problems are my problems, right? And he's kind of known for being supportive, and he comes in and he saves the day when he doesn't really have to. But in the season finale, they kind of made it so he was just angry with Ellie. But I think contextually in the game that actually works really well, because Ellie does kind of fuck up a bunch in the game, and Ellie is the one to go to Seattle first, so he has to kind of come after her and save her ass. So I guess after I sat with it a little bit longer, I actually really liked how they changed Jesse's attitude towards Ellie, because I think someone did kind of low-key need to put her in her place, because she did make a lot of stupid decisions, and she really didn't think out any of her plans. I mean, if it wasn't for Dina, she would have just brought, like, all ammo and no, like, health supplies or anything like that. So I think I'm totally fine now with Jesse being harsher on Ellie rather than being fully supportive up until the point of him, separating with her at the aquarium and calling her out.
Can't move any faster.
I thought
do your sister any good if we're both...
that I thought a lot of the changes were really interesting. The first change that I noticed, or I guess the first change that sticks out the most to me, obviously they removed how she got the boat scene.
Did you see a way down?
Which isn't an issue. I guess it makes a little bit more sense. Like, I don't really know how they would have filmed Bella going underwater the way that Ellie does in the game. So I'm kind of okay with Ellie looking at or seeing Isaac's plan in motion to invade the Seraphite Island. So I thought that part was really interesting. And I was a little disappointed to see at first the change in Owen's character, because Owen in the game, right, he was so supportive. He came after Ellie and Dina when he didn't even have to. I mean, Ellie and Dina had permission from Maria to go after Tommy in the show. What am I looking at? Oh, I see. They had permission to go after Tommy in the show, so...
Is that a fire hose?
Jesse didn't really have any reason to be mad at Ellie, but since they've changed so much stuff around, I guess it makes like a lot of sense to me that he's so mad at Ellie for endangering Dina's life, the baby's life, and everything. And I kind of think that Ellie deserves someone putting her in her place a little bit.
I'm gonna head down.
Because she's been kind of annoying, low-key. I did think maybe they were going to spare Jessie, but it was nice to see that Shimmer got spared. We know that she's alive. That was cool. And we know that Alice is alive as well, which is very important to me because I loved Alice. So I'm curious if they're just going to completely remove Alice as a character, or if they're going to... Am I supposed to just drop? I guess I am. Or if they're just going to have her not die. Because they haven't touched any dogs in the show. And in the game, the show producers, I guess, use dogs as like a tool to make you sympathize with Abby and like dislike Ellie. Is there anything in here? There's not. They use dogs as a tool because, you're kind of forced to kill at least one dog as Ellie. You have to kill Alice in the aquarium, and then Bear you have to kill, and then all the other dogs. And they even show you when you play as Abby all the dogs in the kennel that you end up killing, which is really unfortunate. Were there dogs in this episode? No. So the season finale, there were no dogs. But actually, I'm just going to restart the encounter. In the season finale, there weren't any dogs. But in the game, when you're playing as Ellie, right before you meet Owen and Mel arguing in the hospital, you go in, and as soon as you break into the aquarium, Alice comes running and attacks you as Ellie, and you're not given a choice. Like, you have to kill Alice to get past. But in the game, all other dogs, you have a choice to kill or not. Like, you can sneak past, or you can just, like, it gives you the option to kill the owner that is handling the dog, like, on the leash. And if you kill the owner, the dog will just sit there and cry, which is really sad. It's, like, heartbreaking, but much better than killing the dog. And then there's a specific dog, Bear, at the hospital that I make sure that I keep alive. There's, like, a very specific way that you can go in and get through the hospital and leave Bear alive, because you even get introduced to Bear as Abby, and you can throw the Is there another one?
Holy shit.
Sorry. You can throw the ball to Bear.
Until it fucking wasn't. I hate demons.
So the game just uses the dogs as, like, a way to make you sympathize with Abby and really dislike Ellie more and more as a character. I'm excited to see all the dogs. Right? But they didn't... I mean, the season finale just happened, and I didn't see Alice at all. Like, Ellie did not hurt Alice. Alice wasn't even in it. So I'm thinking maybe they're not even going to use that technique, which is okay, because I feel like viewers as a whole are very protective of dogs. So I think that dogs being hurt on any screen, ew, look at all those cockroaches, dogs being hurt on any screen would go over very, very poorly with the audience, which is kind of the point, but they don't really want to make Bella Ramsey, I feel like, get any more hate than she already is getting. Because she passed another dog in the hospital, maybe not the hospital, when she was on the way to attack Nora. I think that there's an infected down here. I don't think I can see him, though. But she passed another dog and just snuck past him. I did see the new episode. Did you enjoy it? It didn't really feel like a season finale to me, though. I mean, it was only like, what, 55 minutes, and it, is this, why do I feel like this thing's gonna pop out at me? No, this one doesn't pop out, thank God. Oh, I don't like them. But it just didn't really feel like a season finale. It was just very short. I felt like, I know that there's something in here. I hear something. It was short, and I mean, I knew that it was going to end on that cliffhanger, which makes sense. I don't think it was like a bad cliffhanger, but the fact that we have to wait another 2 years is kind of crazy to me. Where? I hear someone. Like, I hear infected. Is it below? Poor Bella, she's a wonderful actor. The writing is not great. I agree. I think that Bella Ramsey is doing the best she can do with the writing. But the not just the directors, but I feel like the makeup department, I mean, so she comes back from torturing Nora, right? And she comes back and she wakes Dina up to say hello. And I don't really want to cross this. She wakes up Dina to say hello, and then Dina wipes her off, but her t-shirt was brand spanking new. I mean, it wouldn't have even surprised me if they had left, like, oh shit. Okay. Who's coming? got distracted. Yeah, her t-shirt just looked brand new. Like, I know her back was all scuffed up and it had a bunch of dirt and scrapes on it, and that was believable. But if that was the case, why the hell was her shirt not all fucked up as well? I don't know. I just thought that.
Liv, I am so glad we took this shortcut.
Even though we're stuck with all these
It's a little bit disappointing as well. They're really not letting Bella Ramsey show any of her, like, the range that she can play. Like, Bella shows rage pretty well, and she obviously shows humor pretty well. And the fact that they just kind of make her deadpan in so many of the scenes, like when she said that she tortured Nora and she just kept hurting her. Like, I guess she was crying, but she was pretty monotone in that. As a whole, I think season 2 has some pacing issues. I wish that they had more episodes, but because they didn't have more episodes, it was only like 8 episodes, 50 minutes each, left. I didn't feel like they really had the time to elaborate so much on the Jackson storyline. So season 1 and 2, or not season 1 and 2, episodes 1 and 2 of season 2, it just felt like a lot of background, right? They were elaborating more on the Jackson story. Jackson itself got attacked, which was fine. I didn't mind Jackson getting attacked by that horde, but I think I added a lot of screen time that didn't really add to the overall story. Like, I don't even really remember that Jackson got attacked unless I'm thinking about the whole story in general, which is fine. But Neil Druckmann even goes on to say that he doesn't feel like changes to the story are like reasonable or make sense to put in unless they add to the overall story or characters. So I don't really understand why they added that in. And I think that overall they just made a lot of changes to the show that they didn't really expect to like ripple effect so far out. So for example, the spores that they removed in season 1 kind of came back to bite them in the ass because they wanted the spore scene with Nora, and it was cool. I really did like the scene where they added the spores, but if they were going to add spores, they should have just added it to begin with. And I think that it just kind of shows that they're backtracking and not sticking with their guts, and it's very upsetting how they feel the need to explain things to the audience again and again. I mean, the fact that they stood there and had a town hall and talked about why corn is the best crop, which is just annoying. But I get they had someone stand there and tell everyone that revenge is bad, it doesn't help everyone. It's just kind of unnecessary, in my opinion. I don't know. And also, they gave characters, oh, I'm glad I grabbed that. They gave characters like Seth kind of a redemption arc, but did he need a redemption arc? Like, I liked Seth's like redemption arc towards the end, but I just don't think it was really necessary. I mean, he didn't need one. It's okay for some characters to just be bigots. Overall, the season was like, I didn't really love it. Season 1 was a lot better, and I mostly don't like how they've completely changed characters. I mean, they're not even acting like the characters that they're supposed to represent. I was distracted, so I didn't read your message, so I'm going to read it now. I like the Jackson attack because it gives more reason why they don't send people out to get revenge, but I agree with you. Yeah, and that's valid. I do agree. I don't really think that they needed to send such a big group regardless. I mean, more people is just more supplies, and I didn't think that part was necessary, so I do like them giving context for that. And shocker that Jesse voted no. I thought that was crazy. And then you said, for me, the theme of this season is in a vacuum, because in a vacuum I do enjoy some of the scenes and moments. Totally agree with that. I think if the Last of Us game did not exist, I would be able to enjoy the show much more than I currently do, but unfortunately that's just like not the case. Like it doesn't exist in a vacuum. And we do know that there is source material out there that are great. And also, it's okay to change certain aspects of the show, but when you have such a great show in terms of lines, so for example, when Ellie's torturing Nora and she goes like, why would I tell you anything? I'm dead anyways. And Ellie responds with, because I can make it quick or I can make it so much worse. Like, that's a badass line. Why are we removing that? It just doesn't make any sense to me. And I think most of their decisions that they've made this season don't make a ton of sense to me. I mean, a lot of people are upset that Ellie doesn't have, like, rage. And I think that's, like, super valid. There are bloaters in here, I think. I think that's super valid. The fact that Ellie...
Look alive!
I'm not gonna look alive. I'm not doing that right now. Oh, Lev's going for it. He's just 1v1ing a bloater. The fact that we didn't really see Ellie's rage until, what, third to last episode? Second to last? I shouldn't have followed yet, so I could ask you the important question. Thoughts on Caitlin Dever? So, as an actress, she's great. I mean, she has the emotional range. As it's not her fault that the producers, directors told her not to bulk up. It's quite unfortunate that they told her not to, because when The Last of Us 2 came out, they were so gung-ho. These guys can't follow, can they? They were so gung-ho about how Abby had to be buff, and it does. It shows a story. It shows how obsessed she was with tracking down and killing and getting revenge for her father. Like, her body was literally like proof of how strong she was. And I think that they made a really like unpopular decision with half the fans. The Last of Us 2, when it first came out, got review bombed. I don't think I can jump down there. I think I'll die. It got review bombed. But I just wish they would have stuck with their guns, and I kind of do understand why they didn't. Because they didn't want Caitlin Dever to get like too much hate. Or, well, they didn't want the actress that gets casted as Abby to get too much hate. So I do kind of understand that in itself. Excuse me, Lev. So they didn't want to cast like an unconventionally attractive actor? Fuck it. Nice. I need to pause. There's comments. I will say a part of me is happy for the show because it's weird. It is making everyone love The Last of Us 2, and it's gathering more people to like play the game, which I like. I was The Last of Us 2 defender when it came out. I too was The Last of Us 2 defender when it came out. Should I jump right down there? I've already wasted some. Nah, it's cool. It's cool. That's what the pause button's for. I should probably wait until these spores dissipate just a tiny bit more. It's okay. When Abby makes pipe bombs, she makes 2 of them, so might as well. But anyways, I do like her a lot. And I have been really impressed with the acting. Ew, this is gross. Why did I even do that? There's nothing even in here. Damn it. I hate it when I do that. I use resources and it doesn't even pay off. Fucking ridiculous. Maybe I should go back. No, I'm not restarting 16 minutes from now. We're just gonna have to waste the materials. As a game adaptation, right now I'm maybe like 5 out of 10, but it might be hot coming from this recent episode. Have you seen the most recent episode? Did you watch tonight's? Yeah, as a game adaptation, it's not great. Season 2 is not great. I like Season 1 more. I didn't love Season 1. I guess I'm just gonna jump. Oh, this bitch is gonna come out at me. Season 1 was great. I agree. 8.5 out of 10. Totally agree. I think that's like a really fair,
Going down. Almost at the street.
fair rating for that. The only things I really wish they would have changed, I do wish they would have just kept the spores in, because I think that the gas masks look really cool, and I mean it's accurate, lore accurate. Cordyceps is a real life fungus that infects animals. It infects ants and spiders and insects, and it does have spores. So I think it would have been cool for them to keep that in. And then also, they did my girl Tess so dirty. It was ridiculous. I agree. The changes they made in season 1 had purpose, and logically they made sense. Not so much now. So I can try. Talking to you now, I'm like, they really should have kept the spores, because they didn't really make the tentacle thing all that important. No, the only thing that the tentacle thing added was a really, really creepy scene in which Tess died. And like, Tess deserved so much better. She was such a badass in the show, and she never once begged. Oh, did you see how fast Lev just moved right there? That was funny. She never once like begged Joel to care about her. Like, it was very obvious that Joel did care very much about Tess, and it was never like a question of if he didn't. He might not have said it, but she knew that they had something, and it was never. They just made Tess's character beg him before she died, and then they shoved those tentacles down her throat. It was just nasty. I hated it. I think she deserves so much more respect than what she got. Okay, where am I going? Down more? Down more. What's up? I'm watching The Last of Us show right now. You're on episode 4. Bro, you've got to catch up. How are you liking it so far, Logan?
I'm at a loss here.
I guess I'm kind of at a loss here, too. I'm not really sure. I
bet we
guess...
can get out that way.
Down here? Oh. I guess I can't jump on the mat. If I don't jump on the mattress, do I die? Oh, these things are nasty. It's good. I really liked the Frank and Bill episode. Oh, you're on episode 4, season 1. Yes, the Frank and Bill episode was great. While I was a teensy bit sad not to see the repertoire between Bill and Ellie, because it was just like honestly hilarious, I loved the change. I thought it was very sweet. The strawberries, didn't know I would be crying over strawberries. Thought it was cool. I thought it was cool change at the time, but now you have me thinking, really, why not just keep the spores with how little they use in tentacles? My buddy who hasn't played the games felt like I wasted his time watching the show with him. To me, it felt like Craig and Neil were trying to be smarter than what the original game was. Frank and Bill. Yeah, I know, Frank and Bill. Yeah, so I agree. I don't really understand. I would love to be a fly on the wall when Craig Mason and Neil are talking, because I mean, Neil literally like wrote and produced the game, right? He was like a co-producer, co-director, co-writer. So him changing his source material so much without any real reason for, I feel like I'm missing, without any real reason for the changes, just don't really make it like a ton of sense to me. And I feel like they backed down on a lot of the things that made the second game great. I mean, it really wasn't afraid to make you dislike Ellie as a character, which making the main character unlikable towards the end, that they did that in the first game, right? Oh, missed. They did that in the first game. At the end of the first game, you're supposed to kind of disagree with what Joel does. Like, he's kind of a bad guy at the end of the first game, even though I'm a Joel apologist. So I personally don't think that what Joel did was wrong, but you're supposed to think that he doomed the world. from the podcast and whatnot, it felt like Neil wasn't as involved with this season as the first. That is true. Neil Druckmann only was involved in the flashback scene, and he was involved with the very last scene. And then Craig Mason misconstrued, I feel like, a lot of the game. For example, he felt like Dina and Ellie had a parent-child relationship, which is not true. Logan on TikTok asked, is the show like the game, or can I get spoiled on the show? Is there any ending different? The show and the game are quite different, I would say, but like the core story is pretty similar in the sense of what happens in the core story is the same, but maybe not necessarily the motivation. Yeah, go follow me on my Twitch, Logan. That'd be great. Bro, they rushed this episode so bad. When I pulled up the HBO and I saw that this episode was fucking 50 minutes long, I almost lost it. I was under the impression that this episode was going to be an hour and a half. I don't know why. I think I just like maybe heard that on TikTok. And even with an hour and a half, I didn't really think that that was enough time either. So, I don't know. They changed a lot. I mean, with the boat scene, I'm kind of scared to open this door. Is there a brick? There is a brick. Dope. Big boy Roscoe. So Roscoe is Logan? I thought so too, because it was a 7-8 episode season instead. Yeah. No, I agree. I have no idea why they have chosen to make it a standard for seasons, like series, to be 7 or 8 episodes. I think it's ridiculous. Apparently that boat scene was cut from the second game, which was neat, but I feel like it doesn't add anything. I followed. Thank you for the follow. Oh, fuck. Yes, there's a lot of demons. I do have fire. Maybe I can sneak. But I do like the boat scene. I thought it was a fun gameplay, but I don't necessarily think it would be like a good translation from the screen. Is there a pipe I can take? No, there's not. Of course there's not. A good translation from the screen for 5 seconds. There's a lot of stuff going on in the chat. I followed. How long do you plan on being live for? I'll be on live until I get tired, and I've completely messed up my sleep schedule, because my sleep schedule would fuck, so probably like 2 or 3 hours at the least. Craig said that the point to it was because they didn't save the Scar earlier in the episode. Now Ellie is going to maybe be killed by Scars before the plot armor saves her and she goes back. We're talking too much, Logan. I completely forgot about that. Oh shit, let's go down. I completely forgot that they changed it so... Oh, fucking hell. They changed it so Ellie was the one to get captured by the Scars and get hung. And I think Abby still does. The random side quest during the boat scene is what I'm talking about. Gotcha. Yeah, that was so crazy. I had no idea why they added that in. I don't think it makes sense. I thought it was ridiculous that got added in. Thoughts on the Mel scene. Sorry, I'm just get your thoughts on the show. To me, it felt like a bit of kick the dog scene, like trying to amend it. I actually really fuck. Give me 5 seconds. I actually really liked the way that they changed. I can't talk and play at the same time when I'm trying to deconstruct the show. The Mel scene I really liked, because even though you kill Mel in the game and you notice that she's pregnant, actually seeing her very, very pregnant belly and knowing that a C-section, like a cesarean section, could have potentially saved the baby was pretty heartbreaking. Like, it definitely makes it seem much more of a terrible act than in the game for some reason. Like, obviously she's very pregnant in both, but knowing that Mel tried to save the baby and the baby could have been taken out and lived, it really kind of pushed, hit home how poorly Abby's decision was, or Ellie's decision was, excuse me. So I thought that change was good, and I was kind of okay with the fact that... Oh my god, okay. It's fine. I'm glad Alice is alive, and I'm glad that we've got a confirmation that Shimmer is alive as well. I'm a real big fan of that. Oh my god. Played grounded on the first game. I said that she's a loser in the show because we have not seen her win in the show. That's true. It's unfortunate too. Like, she shouldn't be a loser. She should be like a really cool character. How am I supposed to get through? Motherfucker. She's not supposed to be, you know? Like, she's supposed to be kind of competent, but the fact that they've made her completely unable to survive without... They've made her unable to survive without help, and it just sucks, because it's just like, why? Okay, I have no idea how I'm supposed to get past... This is pissing me off. Slowly, because every time... I guess I'm just gonna keep... It's why when Ellie wanted to save the Scar in the last episode, I was like, girl, what you gonna do? Really, you ain't this bad. Yeah, I don't know what she thought she was gonna do. 6v. Oh fuck. Oh fuck. Oh fuck. Okay. Nope. I'm losing it. I'm thinking since Ellie is so impulsive. Yeah, she's extremely impulsive. She's even more impulsive, it seems. It's funny seeing you talking to just abruptly lock into the game. I have a bit of a goldfish brain, I feel like, low-key. And I'm not super great at multitasking, which kind of defeats the purpose of streaming, you know? But I try, you know? Alas, I try. It felt a bit empty and pushy. Yeah, I agree. It didn't really feel like a season finale should feel, in my opinion. Okay, if I jump, I don't think it's gonna let me. I think it's gonna make me miss, and I'm gonna slide down this thing, but I'm gonna try. Jump. Nope. Bullshit. How did you feel about all of the changes? I feel like Lev just did that a lot more graceful than I did. Oh shit. Is the second season worth a watch? How was the episode? So I would say that... How do I put this? Yes, I think it's worth a watch. I do think you have to try as hard as you possibly can not to compare it to the game, even though, like, that's kind of low-key impossible, because someone said it earlier in the chat. In a vacuum, I think this show would be really great. But because I know how amazing the source material is and how much they're changing it, not just like meaningful changes or changes that add to the story or to the characters, just changes that seem like very willy-nilly. And then the pacing also has a lot of issues, I think. It started out really slow, and you know, I feel like a lot of a quarter, and I feel like a lot of people tried to defend the show earlier on in the seasons, and they said like, oh, let them cook, right? Well, they cooked for like 4 or 5 episodes, and it's a 7 episode season, and then they had to catch up really, really quickly, and it was almost like they burned what they cooked because they just had to play catch up, right? And they really tried to do like a slow burn with Dina and Ellie, but that change in itself made it a little weird for Ellie to get with Dina and be happy after Joel's death. In the game, and I'm sure that I'll sound like a broken record, but in the game, Ellie and Dina were already together. Ellie didn't need to like rebound or like distract herself from grief. So Dina was more of like a support character. But in the show, it happens. Dina goes back to Jesse because they added that weird 3-month time gap, and they needed Dina to be pregnant. And then they get together. I just thought it was just so odd, and it just like kind of took away from their relationship to me because now Ellie's not solely focused on revenge, which I didn't really like that part. From what I understand, it's half of season 2. The other half comes in a few months. I didn't realize that if that is true. I feel like I don't think that there's a second half of season 2. I think that this was the season finale, and then season 3, which is Abby's season, will come out in I believe it's late 2026, early 2027. Those love triangles or something else. Yeah. Well, in the game, there's really no love triangle between Ellie, Dina, and Jesse. I mean, he's kind of over it, and he's like very supportive. But I did really like. Hold on, let me finish. If it's worth the watch if you like The Last of Us, but it's nowhere near as good as season 1. Accurate. And the fact that they're making us wait another 2 years for season 2, also accurate. I like how they did Mel's scene in the show. Everyone was ready to see Tommy go mess it up in Seattle, and he wasn't seen. I feel like they're saving Tommy's season, like not season. I feel like they're saving Tommy for not Ellie, for Abby's arc. They're gonna show him fuck everything up with a sniper and show how bad he fucks up the wolves in Abby's arc. They did a terrible job from the start. I agree with you, but I'm not gonna. I do think Wholesome Webs. I totally agree that the Mel scene. I thought the Mel scene was great. I think that it really added to the fact, like, obviously we know that Ellie kills a pregnant woman in this game. Like, we know that Mel is pregnant. We know that she is heavily pregnant when Ellie kills her, and we know that it's bad. But seeing such, like, a pregnant woman's, not such a pregnant woman, seeing someone who's so heavily pregnant and seeing, like, her bare stomach and knowing that the baby could have potentially been saved with a C-section really hit home how terrible of an act it was. Not that it wasn't terrible before, but it was like a very visceral reaction seeing that scene. I think they did a really, really great job of that. I totally agree with you. Oh, you think they already filmed Tommy's scenes? Yeah, maybe. I didn't even think, because it's like a 5-month time difference from going out to get revenge. That does mean after, yeah, the 3-month time skip, that's one of the changes in the show that I have like the biggest beef with. I think the 3-month time skip was the most unnecessary thing. If they wanted to do a time skip, I think they could have done with maybe like 4 to 6 weeks and had a similar effect, but it would have made a lot more sense, because with adding the 3-month time skip, they kind of killed the momentum they were building. Like Tommy and like Tommy and Jesse were building houses. Like they were smiling and happy, which is ridiculous. I don't know.
You're staying here, yeah? Yeah.
Plus, Mel was so calm in that scene. She helps everyone, but no one could help. Yeah, that was really sad. I think that I really don't like Mel very much in the show. Or sorry, I don't like Mel very much in the game, but I like her a lot in the show. Like, she's the reason why they didn't hurt Dina. Like, she just gave Dina, like a shot of something to make her fall asleep. When they killed Joel, they didn't hurt her like they did with Tommy when he was with Joel. So I like Mel a lot in the, so far at least in the TV show, whereas I didn't like her very much in the game. Yeah, I agree. I liked the first season, or second season, episode 1 as well.
I'm a wolf! Don't shoot! It's me! It's Abby!
Abby? It's Abby, shit. She alone? Open the gate.
Oh, that's another change that they made. So, to make Abby valuable to Isaac, they made her, like, his,
Hey guys.
I guess,
Jesus,
to-be replacement, which is interesting. And I guess I could see Caitlin Dever nailing that. She's like a very charismatic actor, and I think she could really stand out as like the leader to be trained, or leader to be, I don't know the right word for it because someone else is speaking in my ear.
Is Nora around? Yesterday she said she was shipping out here.
Isaac is grooming her to be his next leader, is what I was attempting to say.
Just left the last transport, but she'll be back.
Okay, thanks.
Who are they still getting new recruits?
It is kind of crazy. While I don't... this is crazy. I loved this gameplay as Ellie. I thought it was a lot of fun. It is kind of crazy, the fact that they've got very, very, very accurate casting for all of the side characters. Like, Isaac's a great casting, Jesse's a great casting. Like, there is no argument, or there is nothing up for debate at all on the casting for the smaller characters. And Joel, I agree. Joel is a really great pick, but even, I mean, the smallest characters have super accurate casting, and while I don't necessarily think that the casting choices for Abby and Ellie are terrible and bad, I mean, I have my own opinions on that, but I think the actors get a lot of hate, and they're just trying to do a job, right? It's interesting. Oh, it's Bear. It's interesting. I left Bear alive in my playthrough. I would like everyone to know that. He is alive and well. It is unfortunate that they chose to be so controversial with like such a big part of the story.
Hey there.
And they didn't help the casting choices either. I mean, they really did Ellie pretty dirty with that terrible slick back. I think if they just gave her bangs and freckles, it would have helped a bunch. Like, Ellie obviously can act, or not Ellie, Bella Ramsey can act, right? Like, she's a pretty good actress. I don't necessarily think it's I really like Ashley Johnson and the way she represents Ellie, but I think Bella Ramsey does a pretty good job. I just think that she has very poor source material to work with as well. Like, the writers really suck. Craig Mason needs to stay as far away from season 3 as possible. Like, and get a restraining order. The cut to Ellie saying no, no, no when Abby gonna shoot her. I know. The no, no, no was just, I don't know. This show is a little sometimes, anyways. So, I think there's a quarter in here. Yeah, quarter in here. See, I try to leave every dog alive. I really do. I try very, very hard. But levels, especially like this level, it's just so hard. Like, I left Bear alive, but there was definitely a couple of levels that I had to bite the bullet and hurt the puppies just to get past. And then I went and hugged my dogs because I felt so bad. Oh, it would have been nice if this dude was napping when I went through here as Ellie. I also think it's been really cringy, kind of like all the guitar scenes Dina and Ellie. Oh, you thought that the guitar scene was cringy? That was pretty accurate. I think it's hard to compare Bella Ramsey's voice to Ashley Johnson's voice because Ashley Johnson has such a lovely voice that she actually had to be taught how to sing worse. Like, I thought that there was a quarter on the back of one of these cars. But yeah, they actually had to teach Ashley Johnson to sing in a way that would make sense for a girl growing up in the apocalypse. Which I think is interesting. I also listened to the trailer that Ashley Johnson sings on repeat for like 2 weeks straight. So, time for you to really earn your follow sub. Do you think the game is too good that it hurts the show? How could the game possibly hurt the show when the game came out in 2020 and the show's coming out now? Like, the game has... Here's the thing with that statement. The game has no obligation to the show because the game is the source material, but the show has an obligation to the game to respect it. It can make changes, and it has, and it can make good changes, but you should still respect the source material, and I don't feel like they do that. So I don't think that the game is too good that it hurts the show because the game can be whatever it wants. It's the original.
Oh, for sure. Lots of floors we still need to hit.
Ugh. Good luck.
Can I talk to these dudes? I wonder how many of these dudes I killed. I definitely left some of them alive. I don't remember this window. Damn. I really did not explore this area to my full potential as Ellie, huh? I agree, the game came out first, the show could be way better. And I meant to say, like, Ashley Johnson is just too good as Ellie. No matter how good Bella Ramsey does, it'll never be enough comparatively. Oh, I see what you mean. I think that's a fair statement. I don't really think...
Abby.
Did I pet Bear yet? Oh my god, did I miss petting Bear?
I need some medical supplies.
Oh, I'm so pissed. I hope I didn't. I love Bear. I did leave Bear alive, though. I would like you to know. But
Let me talk to Isaac.
Emerald Arrow on Twitch.
Going back to the next shipment.
No, I don't think that the show could have ever really lived up to the game just because it's in a completely different medium. I don't really think that you can make someone connect with a character the way you do, like, physically playing as them, like in a video game. Like, you just don't care about them as much when you're watching them. When you're watching them through a screen, like an actor versus playing as them. So I think that the show kind of had an impossible task to live up to the game. And I think that the best way that they were going to do it was make meaningful changes that made it stand out in, like, an alternative universe. And they did a really good job starting in season 1. But season 2, they've deviated so much, and I don't really think they fully understand the source material. And I think they've messed up, both with that and pacing issues.
I need some medical supplies.
So hopefully
what
that clarifies your interview question.
Compartment syndrome.
Oh, okay. I did pet him. Good. I thought I did. I don't even pay attention to what's going on screen when I'm this deep in questions.
Not a lot of time. Jesus.
I'll always love that Ellie gave birth to Ellie. Yeah, that was a great change. Ashley Johnson's cameo was amazing. No, I'm not ready for the Rat King.
What? We haven't cleared.
I'm absolutely not ready for the Rat King. But I have full arsenal and I think it'll go good.
Yeah, probably, but...
Thoughts on only 2 people of the Seattle 8 dying. And this... Oh yeah, she leaves Nora alive to become an infected. I think Nora becoming an infected in the show is a way worse fate. And we actually don't know 100% that that's not what Game Ellie did. Out of everyone who streams The Last of Us, you have given the best responses. Thank you. And that's me attempting to play as well. So I'm distracted.
Okay. Fine.
She was so fucked up after.
It's downstairs. Don't advance with Nora. Okay, I'll check the stairs. Where are the stairs? Bro, can I go downstairs? Because I was in the elevator and I think they put me up there. I need to pause for a second. Nora's talking and I'm distracted. Sorry guys. All the other streamers get so offended when you say something bad about the show. Here's the thing. I think that it's very, very fair to critique the show because the show wouldn't have been even created without gamers loving the game so much. Like, it's valid to want to enjoy and like a show. And while I do think some people are taking it too far, I think as long as you're being fair and you're not attacking the actors who are just trying to do their job, like, go for it. And as long as... And also, I think the discussion's nice. Like, I want to talk to people that don't agree with me. It would be boring to live in an echo chamber, so I want different opinions, you know? You're not there yet, Fallen Nora. Okay, when I get there, I will go down and get... Did I hear the radio? No, what did the radio say? I'm pretty sure the house in that flashback is the house they're going to use for Ellie and Dina's. I guess back to the original question. What are my thoughts on the only people dying so far? I think Manny's going to get his, although they didn't make Manny spit on Joel in the show and call him a pendejo. So, like, I mean... I don't know. They really pulled back on a lot of the characters, right? I don't hate Mel right now. I think Mel's like a really great character right now, where I thought she was like kind of annoying in the game. Owen, I'm a little indifferent on. I think it's weird how Owen is so old looking.
Boat's ready to head out.
Well, I still got boxes on the 3rd floor. Can you 2 bring them first?
Boat's pretty full.
Come on, I don't want to be here all day.
Yeah, Manny's fucked.
Thanks.
He's going to die. If Jesse can't live, Manny can't live, right? Like, they can't change that sense. Also, I still do not know what you're talking about. There is no way for me to get down. I mean,
Always.
I'll go over here, and maybe there's a way.
You know I'm here?
I'm about to go rewatch this. You have me second guessing it. Second guessing what? Bro, there is no downstairs. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Santa Barbara.
I do think I probably missed a quarter. How do you feel about Dina's boyfriend dying so fast? Jesse dies that fast anyways, but the fact it just hits you a lot harder. Oh, I see what you mean. Wow, I missed her going down the stairs because I was looking for stairs over there. That's embarrassing.
Hold up.
That is something, again, that I think there was a change they made to the show where it doesn't make as much sense. I'm going to pause one more second just to explain this and not trail off so much. So Jesse in the game is super, super supportive, and he follows Ellie and Dina because Ellie and Dina are following Tommy, right? And so he comes and he says, my friend's problems are my problems. And he's a very supportive character, and you have this big, long bonding time with Jesse. You have this super long time when you bond with Jesse, you play with Jesse, you give like a high five, you clear a bunch of stuff. So you're bonding time with Jesse, and then Jesse dies, right? In the show, Jesse rightfully calls out Ellie's abhorrent behavior. Like, he calls her out because in reality, Ellie is the reason why the mother of his child is in the middle of Seattle with an arrow through her leg, pregnant. Like, it's Ellie's fault in the show. So his reaction makes sense. And I really don't mind that Jesse is kind of a dick to Ellie in the show, because it makes sense. At first I was a little disappointed, but it makes sense. But now Jesse has died in the show, and I don't think people really care, because he was kind of a dick to your main character for so long, right? Okay. Yeah, I didn't think he spit on him. Yeah, spitting on Joel really made me
Right.
pretty
These
bloodthirsty
floors have
for Manny.
Sounds perfect.
There's a reason.
I did not remember him call him a pendejo though. It's like near a cash register. I want to say to my left. Okay, yep, I see where it is. Okay, I'm gonna go grab that, and then I don't think I can really loot much else. But does that make sense? Did I answer that question okay about Jesse, Dina's boyfriend? See, even people don't even know his name is Jesse. It's just Dina's boyfriend. About Jesse dying so fast. Thank you. I did get the quarter near the cash register. Ellie's biggest fear was to be alone, and she had all these people around her, and she lost. Yeah, it's the biggest tragedy of the second game. I hate how the entire season 2 went about. Yes, Ellie. Unfortunately, yes, that was an amazing response. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yes, unfortunately, I do think that Ellie does come across. Ellie and unfortunately Abby. They both come across as kind of like bratty and immature. Abby's monologue definitely didn't help her. The fact that they revealed her motivation so early on was a big shame. But Ellie's scene when she is standing with Tommy and the sniper, and she screams out like, I'm infected, was wild. So there's really not a big change in personality from season 1 to season 2, even though there's supposed to be like a 5-year gap. Cards, unfortunately. I'm very curious to know if the excitement will be there for season 3, since it will be all Abby. I don't know if she can carry the whole show for a while. I think that was the problem after Pedro Pascal died. So my sister has never played the game, so she has no bias whatsoever, and she didn't even really want to continue watching after Pedro Pascal / Joel died. I had to actually tell her, like, hey, you should keep watching. It's like, it's worth it. You'll see more of him in his flashbacks. But I don't really think Bella Ramsey alone was super capable of carrying the show. Like, Dina's actress was very charismatic, and she definitely helped. Hold on, guys. I had an auto mod. They held a reason for sex-based terms. I'm gonna allow it to the chat. Allow it to boyfriend. It's more sperm donor, really. I'm fucking geeked. Accurate as fuck. Love keeps Abby balanced. He's like an angel on her shoulder. Yes, I love Love. Love is, he's so like innocent and like, and obviously not in like a super innocent way, because very effective warrior with his bow and arrow. But the way he asks questions is just so cute. Like, he doesn't know what backgammon is. He's adorable. I love him. And you're supposed to. I mean, Lev is to Abby as Ellie is to Joel, right? How did you feel about seeing the island? Yeah. Because they removed the boat scene where Ellie steals the boat, and I am a little sad that they removed it, but I do understand, because that was super fun to play in a game setting, but it wouldn't really make a whole lot of sense to film it that way. And so I think that because they removed it for a valid reason, replacing it with that scene made a lot of sense. And if you hadn't played the game, you wouldn't really fully understand what they're doing. So I thought it was kind of cool to see them going towards the island. So I liked it. I liked that change. Lev-wise, I forgot what Lev's name was because the Scars called him. I think the Scars, or Seraphites, I think the Seraphites call Lev, is it Lily? Yeah, it's Lily.
Okay. Surgery, trauma.
How did you feel about seeing, it's like they want to mirror Abby, and at least Abby had the mark. Yeah, when I saw, I that was one of the changes in the show that I really have no possible excuse for. I did not understand why Ellie took that little detour to see that kid. And oh, there's a room right here. I don't want to miss that. I don't understand why she took that detour to get choked for 5 minutes. I mean, it added nothing to the story at all. Hi, lady. I'm going to be, but hi from Puerto Rico. PR. Hi. Username old man. But he didn't tell Abby about it because Abby respected his privacy, something I respect. Didn't tell Abby. Oh, yeah. You're totally right. You just kind of have to, like, infer everything about Lev's dead name, I think is what it's called. Think about the astronaut space scene last episode. It was great. And one of the you know why it was great? Because it followed the source material. And because Pedro Pascal is amazing, and everything about that scene was great. I hope you and Susie will remember me. I will have to say now, because we are back in, the hospital, and it's triggering some memories I have. What did you guys think about the Nora chase scene between between Ellie and Nora? Because I really liked the parallels between Nora's death and Joel's death. The fact that both of their backs were against the wall, the fact that they were pinned down, and Joel was pinned down by Abby's crew, right? And Nora was pinned down by the spores. So they were physically both being pinned down, right? And their backs were both against the wall, and the weapon was very similar. So Abby used a golf club and I'm just going to be looting here for a while I talk. Abby used a golf club to kill Joel. And Ellie uses a pipe in the shape of a golf club. So I liked that parallel, but I was a little disappointed with the way they ended up down there. Oh, I'm going to have to jump down. I was a little bit disappointed with can I go through here? With the way they ended up down there, because in the game, Nora pauses because she does not want to risk the spores. So she'd rather face Ellie. And Ellie's the one that kind of bodies her down. I guess I'm just jumping. Bodies her and forces her down into the spores. So that was like a really cool scene that I was a little bit sad that they missed. Where am I going first? I just finished this first and second game last night. I feel you finished both games last night? That's some dedication. Yeah, empty is a good feeling. See, Callie, when you feel empty after playing the first and second game, you just have to keep replaying it again and again and again until you start to feel something, because that's what I do. Or you consume as much media as possible about The Last of Us and get The Last of Us tattoos. The tattoo part will work. Tattoos. Get an Ellie tattoo and that'll make you feel something. Thought it was good, just wish we could have seen a little more. What I really didn't like, off topic, but Dina found out Ellie was immune. I thought that was bad. I like Nora a little, but I get why Ellie did it. Ellie basically did what Abby did, and that was just to find her. Yes. I was going to say something. What was I going to say? No, I played them over the last few weeks. Yeah, I lost my train of thought. I'm sure it'll come back if it was important enough. It's not my fault. There's a lot of discussion to be had on this game, right? Nice. Oh, look at all this loot. Oh, I remember what I was going to say. I was going to respond to the message, what I really didn't like, off topic, but when Dina found out Ellie was immune. I didn't really like that one either, but they couldn't really do it because of the spores. I don't know. Their whole relationship is so different than it was normally. Oh, but what we can talk about in terms of Dina and Ellie, can we talk about how the bracelet she gave her... Oh, artifact. Can we talk about how the bracelet she gave her in the game... Dina's Jewish, right? So she gives her a seeing eye bracelet for protection. And that's like a really important symbolism. Like the seeing eye, it's like the blue eye, and it's on the bracelet, and it's to protect Ellie. And it means something for Dina to give it to her. But in the show, she gets a bracelet. We don't even fucking see the bracelet. And it's for luck? What the fuck? Any new story games you recommend? I need a new one. I'm kind of a one-trick pony. I get like hyper-fixated on things and I play them over and over again. In terms of games, though, past games that I've played, Skyrim, not really like story-based, but interesting. I liked Far Cry 3 out of all the Far Crys, personally. I thought it was a weird like scene because Jesse is just chilling there and it's like super awkward. Yeah, that's unbelievable. Silent Hill. I need to play Until Dawn. That's one of the things I want to play. Yes, it is super awkward. A lot of the scenes have been super awkward. Alright, I'm going to read this note for 5 seconds. Are they really going back in there today? Every time only half a squad returns. We've lost the lab. It's time to call it. Ooh, side note, I loved like the new soldier that lost her son. I think that she's like a very interesting character, and I like that they've added. Can you believe Craig said he didn't want the song If I Ever Were to Lose You to be in the show? Yeah, Craig Mazin is I can't even, I don't even have the words to express how much I dislike the changes Craig Mazin has done to my baby. The second game is just so poorly represented in this second season. It's very, very frustrating. And that is a great example that he did not want to put that show on. The fact that Neil Druckmann had to like push him to do that is ridiculous. Oop, oop, oop. What was that? What was that? Last of Us game ever do. Craig had one hit in Chernobyl, and now everyone thinks he makes. Yeah, 100%. It's a real Game of Thrones. That came down here with me is dead. We secured most of the doors, but some were out of reach due to the overwhelming force of the infected patients. We didn't anticipate this kind of resistance. I thought they were sick and weak. I didn't think I'd see them rip my men apart. I have several bites on my arm and leg. I'm going to take a few more of these fuckers out until I get to my last few bullets. Then I'll join my squad. If you find this, know that you will send more soldiers to fully secure this area. Hopefully you blow this whole building to Kingdom Come and you weren't dumb. They have. And I fear that they have it's past the point of return, but we'll see what they do with the next season. I really don't understand why they've added a fourth season when they've cut out so many, like, they've cut out so much of Ellie's story. Why are they giving a fourth season? Bro, put me in the writing room. I can do it. Yeah. Katmara, I 100% agree on the pacing. Like I was saying earlier, I think the pacing is the number one bad style, like, or number one example of bad writing, because you don't have to contribute it to the game at all. I mean, it was just so slow. I feel like nothing happened in the first like 5 episodes.
What the fuck?
Yeah, part of the emotion is because you experience it all back to back and not years apart. And they didn't have to split this up so much. I really do think if they wanted to, they could have realistically done this whole season, the whole game in the second season. They could have just made it longer and really only put in what mattered. Why do we just walk into Nora? They could have hired the writer from the game. She is amazing at script writing. Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't the first writer from the game, didn't Neil, like, kind of get her fired or something? Or push her out? Or I might be wrong about that. Alright. Like the fact that you're doing another season. You could have, don't get like a 10. Yeah, if it was a 10 episode season, 5 episodes for each. No. Let's say 4.5 episodes for each of them. Or even 4 episodes for each of them. The first episode, just setting everything up. The next 4, all of Ellie's. The next 4, Abby's. And then the last one, Santa Barbara. Because Santa Barbara, you don't need much for Santa Barbara. Like, the farm should maybe be 1 season, but I don't know. Yeah, at least make it better. Heavy on the make it better. If you're gonna change something, ugh. I don't like these things jumping out at me. If you're gonna change something, do it with a good. Neil had a person for his good ideas and his bad idea, right? I could talk about the fact how I saw a video of them together recently about someone asking about the third game. Okay, yeah, I could talk about how different Ellie is all day long, and I'm not even gonna talk about the second season because I think that they went wrong. Ultimately, I think that they went wrong in the first season. In the first season, they make Ellie like kind of a sociopath, right? Like Ellie, they even say in the podcast after the show, they say that Ellie likes to watch Joel beat that soldier at the wall to death, right? I don't know if he actually kills him, right? But he beats him after they discover that Ellie's immune. And Ellie enjoys that. And Ellie, you know what Ellie also does? She takes a knife and she carves up an infected that's trapped. Who does that? So she's a little sociopath, and I don't really understand that because Ellie is not a sociopath in the game. Like, she is this sweet, kind, caring kid, and while that might be unrealistic, that's quite literally the point. She is the light when Joel is lost in the darkness of an apocalypse. Like, she's supposed to be a very unlikely character, and yeah, she hides her, like, she uses humor as a masking, or she uses humor to mask her pain. She uses it as a crutch, but she's still like a good character, and the fact that they've made her a sociopath in the show in season 1 is crazy, and I feel like a lot of people didn't maybe see that, and they're going with that same rationale in season 2, mainly with the therapist. The therapist goes on and on about how nature versus nurture, and how Joel did not nurture her into being who she is today, how they were always walking side by side. That is not true. Ellie is a very kind human being until she experiences David and his creep fest with like people who eat other people and his pedophilia, and until she loses Joel. And saying that Joel had nothing to do with like her personality was a wild thing to say as a therapist. And then the second season is also kind of making it that Ellie's always mad. Ellie's always like this sociopath, and she just has to like let her mask slip to unleash it. Kind of like the Hulk. Like, what's the secret? Like, I'm always mad. Okay, that's not at all how it is in the game. Ellie's mad in the game towards the end, but it builds throughout the entire second game. As soon as she sees Joel die in front of her and get tortured, she slowly descends, and you see her with each encounter of, like, the people that she kills in Abby's clan, she slowly loses her mind and her, like, morality and soul more and more with each encounter. It's not just, like, something that she's hiding that, like, gets let loose. But anyways, I digress. That is something that I'm very frustrated with, that I totally agree with the comment from before. Ellie's personality is completely different, and I think it's a crime, because if you're going to change things, you should not be changing characters' personalities. And I have a lot of messages, so I'm going to read some of these. Yes, season 1 already told us Craig doesn't understand the game. Agreed. HBO just has a problem with not understanding the characters they write. Yep. Whole story. Yes, Ashley Johnson's voice is wonderful. They took away Ellie being a little shit and talking back to Bill. That was a very entertaining scene. I liked that. But I did like the Bill and Frank scene. So, equally good trade-off, excuse me. Difference in her character from the first one, part 2. Removing Federer from season 1 was dumb. I really wish I could put both chats up on the screen. This is the problem with trying to stream TikTok and Twitch at the same time. I'm gonna have to scan some of these. When Joel walked in on Ellie for her birthday, it was hilarious. Also hated that Abby tells us why she kills Joel. Yeah, that was ridiculous. Okay. Oh, yeah, they'll probably eventually remake The Last of Us in a new season, like a reboot. Alright. Neil, maybe Haley Cross was more important to writing than we thought. Haley Cross must have been the writer for the season, or the lack of infected. Yeah, I also kind of feel like season 1 lacked infected, so season 2 they gave us the Battle of Jackson, and they were like, fine, here, and then they they sacrificed it. Oh, these guys can't get to me until I turn the power on. I think that they need to make people interested in Abby's story. They have to make people interested in Abby's story, otherwise no one's going to watch season 3, because they can't just binge it immediately after. I think they were 16 is long enough. Okay. Y'all are talking. Alright, I will do the voice this time. Someone asked why no permadeath? Why no permadeath on Grounded? Because you wouldn't be getting a story. I'd be going back to the beginning every 5 minutes. Yeah, Abby grows on me too. I really have to play the game though, because as soon as I restart the game, I'm an Abby hater all over again when I have to like watch the Joel scene. But as soon as I play it through, I'm good. Pretty much as soon as she meets Lev and Yara, I'm back on the Abby train. And Laura Bailey's, like, her voice is so soothing. I love it. I love Laura Bailey. She deserves all the credit because she got so much hate when the second game came out. Because believe it or not, I mean, the second game, half of everyone hated that game too. It got review bombed, right? Nah, all my homies don't like Abby. I don't think it was necessarily that it was undeserved. I think the way that she did it was pretty fucked up. Like, she definitely didn't need to torture him. And even Joel, like, understands what's happening and agrees with it. He's just like, say what you need to say and get on with it, like, you know? So it's not that. I think it's just, I know that I'm biased and I love Joel. 2 quarters, okay. If you noticed how Abby's dad and Owen literally have the exact same face. Yes, actually they did model Owen off of Abby's father's face model, like character model, and it's extremely unsettling and creepy, but also probably kind of on track because Abby has some major daddy issues with losing her father, so like, I don't know, maybe that's symbolic. Alice did not get rebooted, sis. So you just think that Alice isn't going to be in the game at all? Because that kind of makes me sad. This is a nice scene. I like that when she helps Yara and Lev, that that her father's smiling at her. Even though I like Abby, I sort of like Abby at the end of the show. Like, I don't really want, or at the end of the game, I don't really want her to die. I'm a Jerry hater through and through. I hate that man. Why'd they change the Mel death in the show? So I actually liked the Mel death. I thought that was super interesting. I needed to see the one necessary. The one necessary dog death really just contributes to the fact that Ellie is not like a good person. You're not supposed to like her, anyways. I liked the Mel death. The fact that they showed. I talked about this a little bit earlier in the chat, but I've also been streaming for 2.5 hours, so it's probably like not the same people. But the Mel death, where you actually uncover her stomach and see like a deeply pregnant woman, and her asking Ellie in a calm, collected manner to perform a C-section on her was wild, because it makes the character it makes the viewer understand that the baby probably could have been like saved if it had a cesarean section. So it makes you feel like even more of a piece of shit as Ellie. So I liked Mel's change. They really make her more likable character in the show. I don't like Mel in the game, but in the show, she prevents Dina from getting her face punched in. And I don't know, she also, she seemed more likable in my opinion. Yes, thank God she didn't kill Bear, and thank God she didn't kill Alice. I didn't like how Ellie went to the island. She didn't go in the game. That was just like a weird 5 to 10 minute detour that didn't need to be in that last episode. There was no reason that Ellie had to be hung. There was no point to it. Yeah, Ellie is kind of, I agree. I think she should be kind of a villain at the end. That was kind of the point. She becomes a villain and she loses everyone closest to her. Sometimes it wasn't her fault, but sometimes it was. I mean, she purposely left JJ and Dina. Bear's top 5 The Last of Us characters.
Nothing to do with Owen. Right.
Tonight was the finale. It aired at, well,
You're a piece of shit, Abby.
6 hours ago.
You always have
The face that Abby makes when she calls her a piece of shit is kind of hilarious. She makes that face because she knows that it's true. She is. Someone said that they cut Alice from the show, and if that is true, I will riot, because Alice is such a good girl and she's so cute. And oh my gosh, what if they give us the Shimmer treatment, where they showed us Shimmer as a baby horse in earlier seasons? What if in the flashbacks they show us like a little puppy Alice? I would die. That was the finale. Thank you. No one knows that it was the finale because it doesn't seem like a finale.
Yeah.
It felt very incomplete, and it didn't really have the like sucker punch that you would think that it would have. All right, we going down here? I thought for some reason I thought that the finale was going to be an hour and a half, and I don't know where I heard that or where I got like that impression, but it was not. I laughed out loud, like quite literally, when I saw it was only 50 minutes.
We can do better than these shirts.
It should have had 10 episodes. I think they could have finished it in 10 episodes if they wanted to. If they did not add all this like backstory and stuff, dilly-dallying and expanding upon characters like Seth, we could have had a 10 episode season 2, and it could have been done.
This is cute.
Walrus.
See anything worthwhile?
What did you think of it, Julia? Did you like it?
Looking.
Obviously you didn't think that it was a good season finale. Maybe you liked the episode in general, though, right? Yeah, I do feel like this season was just so short, and I don't feel like I don't know, the first like 4 episodes, it just didn't feel like a whole lot
I'm
happened.
sorry, I didn't realize you owned everything.
Worst part
in
is
the
I thought there was
aquarium.
more episodes
Yeah,
until
well,
I saw online that it was the
aquarium.
finale. I know.
My stuff.
Yeah, the flashbacks were great. I will say I do kind of wish that the flashbacks were more spread out. I understand the rationale with putting the porch scene early because they don't think that like viewers are patient enough to wait until I guess now the end of season 4, but what I thought was the end of season 3. But the fact that they changed it so she said she flat out asks him if he did it. He admits that he lied and what he did, and then she immediately says, "I don't think I can ever forgive you for that, but I'd like to try." Like there was no year, months long waiting period where they just don't talk, where she regrets it, and it like I don't know. They just keep revealing important things too soon. The fact that they reveal Abby's intentions, the fact that they reveal like the final sucker punch scene. Like, what are they going to replace that with? Because that scene was supposed to give Ellie and the viewer the push to like fully forgive, I guess, Abby, but more importantly, forgive Joel and herself. The porch scene was great. I loved the porch scene. I just don't think it should have been placed where it was placed. But I just don't think it should have happened immediately after. Like, she should sit with that knowledge a little longer.
We'll head him off. We'll grab a boat from the marine. Hey, she just had surgery. I'm fine.
I think season 3
I'll go with you.
will be better, hopefully.
They're heading to fucking Highland.
Exactly.
I'm not gonna let her go by herself.
But yeah, I loved that Ellie said that she wanted to forgive him. I just think that they should have split the 2 scenes up further apart, you know? Like time-wise. That's what happens in the game. Yes, it is. The porch scene gets shown at the very, very end. And it allows Ellie to finally let go, because she's kind of thrown away her whole life, everything she cares about and loves about in pursuit of revenge. And we, as the player, think that she's thrown this away because she regrets that her and Joel ended on the fight. But in reality, they didn't. Their last words weren't a fight. Their last words were the porch scene. So you come to realize that, and it helps you forgive, like, I guess, yourself as Ellie. Does that make sense? Okay, I got 1/4. It would be very ironic if Abby's season was better. I do think, and please guys, don't jump down my throat for saying this, but I think Caitlin Dever is a better actor than Bella Ramsey. I think a lot of Bella Ramsey's lines just fall a little flat, and I think she has a hard time showing like as much like emotion. Do you want to be spoiled? Because Ellie's like the main character, so yes, she dodges the bullet. Oh. Oops. I almost did.
Here.
Ooh. Doing this one-armed is gonna be rough, ma'am.
Let's go.
So it looks like you guys agree. I just think so Bella Ramsey has an accent, and that accent leaks in when she speaks, and it takes me out of it a little bit.
He's walking into?
No, but to me Bella is great and shows perfect emotion in the portion. Oh yes, Bella Ramsey, I do think she does a great job in many, many scenes. I just think if you're comparing like the 2 main characters, Abby and Ellie, I think Caitlin Dever is like a stronger actor in general, and I just prefer her. But I also think I have like probably a bit of an unhinged kind of love for Ellie as a character. And while I like Abby, don't get me wrong, especially by the end of this, I do like Abby by the end of this. I'm not like obsessed with her like I am with Ellie, so I think Bella Ramsey just has like a much harder time to live up to people's expectations, because you only get Abby for half the second game, but you get Ellie. Interesting, I feel like was a very accurate term to describe that finale, yes. Yeah, so what did you think, Van? Did you like the finale? I feel like ... interesting doesn't necessarily bode well for the finale. It doesn't necessarily bode bad. We've got a lot of people that didn't necessarily know that it was the finale, which I don't blame them. It doesn't feel like a finale. It ended exactly where I thought it would, right at that split. I really did. I actually liked how we saw just a tiny bit of day one for Abby. I thought that was kind of cool. I thought it would end right when Ellie throws her hands up and goes, no, 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 no. That was interesting, right? In the game, Ellie never kills Abby, right? Correct, Julia. And my main question, what was the reason for Ellie to land on that Seraphite encounter? Oh no, I'm sorry, we've been spoiling you so bad, man. Unintentional. I think the purpose was that they're trying to show that Ellie... Okay, let me pause it because the water is very, very loud, and I wanna have a decent response to this. I think that the purpose of adding in that Seraphite scene was their attempt at showing that Ellie and Abby are two sides to the same coin. However, I think this goes back to HBO not quite understanding the characters, because Ellie and Abby aren't two sides to the same coin. Abby and Joel are two sides to the same coin. So them adding in the scene that is exactly equal to Abby's scene, because Abby's still going to have the scene. She has like the marks around her neck. So Abby still like is going to also get dragged through the forest and be hung. And I think they're just trying to draw parallels between the two, parallels that don't really need to be drawn and that aren't shouldn't be there. But that's my guess.
Abby,
what?
over here.
Oh. But I could be wrong as well. And they're on two different stages of processing their grief and learning their forgiveness. I agree with that as well. And I think... Oh, for some reason I thought there would be a coin in there. And I think the writing has been so, like, questionable.
Stop.
I was joking after that scene. I was like, oh man, if they say, like, they have one of them say, maybe we aren't so different after all, I'm gonna lose it.
Okay, go.
But regardless of their reasoning for adding in the scene, I think adding in the scene in general was completely unnecessary, and it just completely took you out of everything too. Like I don't know, I didn't see a reason for it.
There's a way through here. Come on.
Why does every episode have a different tone? It's because there's different directors for every episode. So Craig Mazin's like the main like director producer for this season. Oh yep. Sorry, I'm reading these live, but the video is lagging because I'm like screen grabbing. I'm screen grabbing video from meant to be consumed on own without involvement from the game. Yes, it's like a book. Like the book is never. Or sorry, it's like a book being made into a movie or a TV show. Like you know that the book is always gonna be better no matter what, and sometimes you just have to. Alright, let's go up here. And it's like, sometimes I feel like it's like movie adaptation from a book where they didn't even read the book completely and they just kind of like skimmed. Yeah. Oops. Yeah, I got them all. This is your favorite part for... Okay, I do not even remember this part, so that doesn't bode well for me. This is your favorite part, really? Not the boat scene or the Rat King or any of them? Do I like Abby? Yes, I do like Abby. Not as much as I like Ellie, and I would not consider myself in love with Abby. Like, I don't love Abby. Fuck, okay. I don't love Abby, but I like her.
Take that boat.
Oh hey, she found a boat just as easy as Ellie found the boat in the show. You said the show is better than people will give it credit for.
Sure the wolves are attacking
I think that the most interesting thing is the show either has fans who like love it unconditionally and will not admit any fault, or it has people that hate it for
Isaac.
not super valid
What does he
reasons,
want?
and I think that's
An
the
end to the
issue.
fight.
Like, it's not
What
the worst show
cost?
ever, but it definitely
Exploit
isn't the best show
any
ever.
cost.
So it has just like two extremes.
Up here. Are you good climbing that?
It's the fastest
Yeah, Dina
way.
has a rifle. She usually misses though when she shoots. They made likable in the finale. They made who likable in the finale? Oh, Mel. Yes, I liked Mel in the finale. I agree. But you're not really supposed to dislike Mel, I guess, when you play as Ellie. I mean, you're supposed to hate all of Abby's crew, right? But Mel isn't one of the ones that you single out. I feel like you really start to dislike Mel herself when you play as Abby. Oh, it's a pallet. Throwback.
Abby,
Oh, here's a quarter.
grabbing supplies. Just in case.
I can't look at pallets without thinking of Joel and Ellie. I bet there's something back here too. You said you enjoy the show for what it is, not great but not terrible. Yeah, exactly. Like it's entertaining. I have HBO. I'm going to watch it. I probably wouldn't buy HBO specifically to watch it, but I have HBO. I watch it. I enjoy some aspects of it. I enjoyed some of the changes in the show and some felt questionable, unclear about the intention. What changes did you not like about the show? Mel gives off baby deer vibes. Yeah, I liked Mel. I think their decision to change how she died was interesting, and I really enjoyed it. Much better morals and didn't want to harm Dina and Joel. Yeah, I agree. Like making Dina pass out with that shot of whatever was much better than hitting her in the face with or using the butt of a shotgun to hit her in the face over and over. Yeah, Ellie was definitely a baby in the show. I mean, they treated Ellie like a baby. Like, every single person in the show treated Ellie like a baby. It was extremely frustrating. Not only do they, like, Jesse treats her like a child when they're sparring in the beginning. He's like, you can't boom motherfucker someone if they punch you in the face. She acts like a baby. Dina acts like her parent, I guess, according to Greg Mazin. What happened to the Southern skirts? Okay, to be fair, my Southern accent was for a doctor in the hospital, not a scar.
Oh no. What is that?
It's our warning signal. Your people are here. The whole island is on alert now. We need to hurry.
I will say, the line, like, you're my people, love that.
We'll cut through the logging camp. Follow me.
How many people live here?
Around 1,000.
How many soldiers?
Why do I feel like there's something on this side of the door?
What are the other half gonna do?
Look at this penny, got it. Fuck yeah.
Some will hide. Most will fight.
Oh, was Kathy her name? I'm impressed that you remembered. Yeah, I'm excited to see Abby's arc as well. I think that they're probably gonna do it pretty good with Abby's arc. Minus the fact that, you know, she doesn't have muscles, but that's been too little too late. That's a loss I've accepted and I'm gonna move on. Okay, I'm coming. I'm sorry, man. Alright, give me this grass. I never see her through the lens of saving Lev and Yara. My biggest gripe was why we revealed Abby's intentions so early. Absolutely, we should not have revealed her intentions early at all. It was ridiculous, and there's no reason why we had to this early. You're supposed to kind of hate Abby at the beginning. You're not supposed to know, and Ellie's never supposed to know why. I don't think they ever talk about it. Like, Ellie just thinks that they killed him because he, like, stopped them from creating a cure, not because he killed Jerry. Alright, I'm gonna lock in. I gotta pay attention. Y'all have fun in the chat. Dropped the ball completely. It was very rushed. Yeah, it was so rushed this season, and that's the problem. I mean, everyone kept saying, be patient, let them cook, but like, episodes 1 through 4, they were cooking or whatever. They shouldn't have been cooking so long on a 7 or 8 episode series. Like, it's just ridiculous in my opinion. I don't know. They dropped the ball on this whole season instead. I'll play the game too, that is why I'm playing again. She does kind of accidentally kill Mel in the game. They grapple. She shoots Owen in the stomach and then they grapple and Mel tries to stab her and Ellie grabs the knife and kills her. Yeah, I feel extremely connected to The Last of Us, especially the second game. I loved the first game. I don't know, the second game just brings out such like visceral emotions. This was, I will say the boat scene was kind of cool to see in the show. It just brings out amazing emotions, and I love Ellie so much as a character. I should have done the crossbow. Yeah, the episode was really rushed, but I kind of felt like this episode and the episode 2 episodes ago was rushed when she hunts down Nora. The fact that she just kind of teleports to the hospital was kind of bullshit. No, I definitely agree with you. It was a very rushed episode. This episode was rushed. The Nora episode was rushed. The flashback episode I liked. And then the first 4, at least the first 3 episodes were really, really slow. You thought the finale was horrible. Ellie has yet to kill someone and the scars were unnecessary. I 100% agree about the scars. The little detour Ellie took on the boat to get choked, that was the most random placement ever. And very good point about Ellie having yet to kill someone. I could definitely see them doing that. You just know if they made those changes, there'd be some fuck telling me, whispering in my ear how that change is good and how it's an adaptation. Yeah, no, it's super frustrating because there's so many changes and some of them are good. I can admit that some of them are good, but a handful, a fucking handful and a half have not been good. And any change, okay, I don't know if Alice just isn't even in it at all, or if she is and she's just safe. Because if she's safe, I'm fine with that. Ellie's just, she's crying and sad and kind of pathetic. I'm not gonna lie. When Jesse was being mean to her, the entire episode, I was at first like, wow, what a change and like what a difference. And then I was like, oh, well, she kind of deserves it, right?